We are solving a problem that afflicted humanity.
President Tinubu rolls out contemporary measure to halt firmer harder clashes for accelerated livestock development. Food security on the front burner. 12 states chart a course for agricultural transformation for socio-economic growth.
Changing the narrative of our social system, it does not lie on agriculture or planting alone. It cuts across all the food value chain.
Plus, Health Minister reminds local government councils on their roles in strengthening primary health care.
That is a task that is the heart of the President's vision to put health and well-being of Nigerian people at the center of his renewed hope agenda.
You're welcome to News at 9 on NTA. I am Lami Ali. Jennifer Igwe will take us through stories from Lagos, while with me here in the studio is Benny Adams on business. So Benny, what's the trending news on business?
Well, on business, we bring you news that the Supreme Court nullifies the National Lottery Act 2005, says the National Assembly has no power to legislate on that, but such powers reside only with the state assemblies. We bring you details in the course of bulletin. All right, stay with us for the details. Meanwhile, you can join us on nta.ng/live or follow us on all platforms of the NTA displayed on the screen for more updates. President Bola Tinubu is assuring that Nigeria will derive a successful economy out of the current situation by adopting a civilized approach towards solving the firmer, harder clashes in the country. The president said this in Brazil as the government takes a step further in the development of the livestock sector in Nigeria. State House correspondent Musbat Wahab reports.
The Nigerian delegation on tour to learn the Brazilian experience in livestock production are back on the table with their findings.
Okay, please.
President Bola Tinubu certainly wants a sound footing for the takeoff of a newly established Ministry of Livestock Development. So, learning from the right hand is the watchword as the delegation visited 3 conglomerates here, including JBS, a Brazilian multinational company, largest meat processing enterprise in the world.
Your Excellency, we are convinced that the life sector reform being implemented today has a lot to learn from the Brazilian experience, and the private sector here represented have shown strong commitment to partner along and replicate the successes in Nigeria.
I think we've come to the right place. We've got the right partners. The issue now is how to proceed step by step.
And we'll do our very best to ensure that what has been done in Brazil is replicated in Nigeria.
And to support whatever venture we are driving. But as a state, Niger State, we are providing ourselves as a pilot state. Already we have identified about 1.2 million hectares ready for this production.
What we are trying to do.
The man who sees opportunities in the current challenge in Nigeria's livestock sector obviously has the plans thought out already.
We are solving a problem that afflicted humanity in that part of Africa. Clash between farmers and migrating cow shoulders and all of that has caused some life and bloodshed. So when there is a modern civilized way to solve those problems and even bring a successful economy out of it.
President Tinubu believes that in only a matter of time, the solution to the sector would also solve another challenge of food security.
Food security is extremely important. As we talk right now, there is hunger. However, there is huge hope, and you are one of those hopes that we're looking at.
Both parties have now agreed to collaborate as expressed in the letter of intent and set to proceed to the first phase of a cooperation to maximize the entire value chain of the sector.
Brazilian captains of industry here who have been part of this engagement today are going to visit Nigeria for exploratory tour to see what's going to happen, select suitable sites where we're going to have suitability of land, fertility of land, availability of bodies of water for irrigation, as well as possible for hydro, as well as growing of corn, sorghum, sweet corn, soybean, as well as ease of transportation to manage the logistics, and then availability of markets.
The key aspect will be that for you to have a successful livestock industry like he has described, they also need feed. And that feed has to be produced, and that is where the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security will come in.
The foreign partners are expected to visit Nigeria soon for the immediate study tour. From Rio de Janeiro, Musbal, then Wahab, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has sent a letter to the Senate seeking confirmation of Lieutenant General Olufemi Olatubosun Oluyede's appointment as the substantive Chief of Army Staff. The sought confirmation is in accordance with the provisions of Section 218, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and Section 18, subsection 1 of the Armed Forces Act. President Tinubu appointed Oluyede as the acting Chief of Army Staff on October 30, following the illness of Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, who eventually died on 5th November. President Tinubu is confident about the leadership qualities, professional integrity and experience of Lieutenant General Oluyede to lead and inspire the army to ensure national security and stability. Before he was appointed acting Chief of Army Staff, Oluyede, a member of the 39th Regular Corps, like his predecessor, served as the 56th Commander of the Elite Infantry Corps of the Nigerian Army, based in Jaji, Kaduna. He was commissioned a second lieutenant in 1992, effective from 1987, and rose to Major General in September 2020. The federal government has restated commitments to improving healthcare delivery in Nigeria, especially in rural areas. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the assurance when a delegation from the West African College of Physicians paid him a courtesy visit. He highlighted the appointment of Professor Muhammad Ali Pate as the Coordinating Minister for Health and Social Welfare and made reference to the minister's deep understanding of the health sector, assuring members of the professional body of government's willingness to work with them. Recalling his efforts to support healthcare education in Borno State, the Vice President said in 2014 he sponsored female citizens of the state to study medicine and surgery abroad. Leader of the delegation, Dr. Jeremiah Aboy Madaki, commended the Vice President for his support for the 48th Annual General and Scientific Conference of the West Africa College of Physicians. Madaki expressed optimism about government's commitments to improving healthcare systems, even as he shared the communique of the conference with the Vice President. Now, Kaduna State Governor Obasani has launched the Women Economic Empowerment Policy and 2 others as part of efforts to catalyze the development of women in the state. The Women Economic Policy is supported by the Development Research and Project Center and the Ford Foundation under the BUILD project. Achari Maxwell reports.
Umaru Musa Yaradua Hall, filled to its capacity with women and youths from the 23 local government areas of Kaduna State at the instance of the governor, who is passionate about the welfare of women. It is the Women's Economic Empowerment Summit 2024, where 3 policy documents are launched. Kaduna State is the first to domesticate these documents, which are all geared towards the overall well-being of the women folks and the youth.
Let me take a moment to appreciate our partners. DRPC, your expertise in policy development has helped shape a robust framework for women empowerment in our state.
The government is therefore creating an enabling environment where women can strive and contribute their quota to the economic development of this state.
Development Research and Project Center, DRPC, and the Ford Foundation under the Build Project are critical partners of these success stories for the Women Economic Empowerment Policy.
We believe that the more women are empowered, they have access to finance, they have access to land, they have access to education, access to health. We believe we will start recording less and less cases of gender-based violence in Nigeria.
The two other document policies are Kaduna State Action Plan 2 on Women, Peace and Security, and Action Plan on Youth, Peace and Security. With these policies now domesticated, the government and its partners will work hard to ensure its implementation. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
The Zonal Review meeting on the implementation of food systems transformation pathways for stakeholders in the agriculture, health and education sectors has ended in Ilorin. The resolution of the biannual meeting, which had states from the North, Central and Southwest in attendance, is that food systems revolution in Nigeria is not negotiable for socio-economic developments. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya reports.
The biannual zonal review meeting on implementation of food systems transformation pathways, which is at the instance of the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, is aimed at charting a way forward on advanced access to safe and nutritious food for all the citizens across the country.
Changing the narrative of our food system, it does not rely on agriculture or planting alone. It cuts across all the food value chain. And that is the basis upon which we are saying that it is food system transformation.
Relevant stakeholders from two geopolitical zones were brought together to appraise how far the food system has been properly implemented in their states, and as well identify constraints with a view of preferring solutions. Saadatu Modibo Kawu said Kwara State was committed to ensuring the attainment of food systems to address food security.
We also want to ensure that our children also have clubs, agri-clubs. They are things that we want to promote now, so that at the end of the day, we would have children that will be promoting nutrition.
The Pathway Transformation Plan focuses on farm estates, which for us in Kwara State, we've termed as cluster farming, and we are pushing for it, advocating for it.
I'm very sure that by next season, we are going to have bountiful harvest in agriculture.
At the end of the day, every citizen in Nigeria will get awesome food on his one table. That is right from the farm to the table.
12 states participated in the meeting. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
Now, youth empowerment is the foundation for Nigeria's development strategy and Africa's broader integration goals. Vice President Kashmir Shettima, represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Hassan Hadleja, stated this as the Youth Legacy Conference at the State House Banquet Hall, Abuja. He notes that a unified effort to bridge generational divides in Nigeria is essential, emphasizing the pivotal role the youth play in shaping Nigeria and the continent's future. The theme of the conference is Shaping Africa's Future with African Continental Free Trade Area and Agenda 2063, highlighting the alignments between Nigeria's youth-focused initiatives and Africa's development blueprint.
This transformation into a global commercial powerhouse can only be achieved by opening our doors to the youth. Our vision aligns with that of the energetic Mandela Washington Fellows, whose work across communities in Nigeria and Africa exemplifies volunteerism and leadership at its finest.
Together, we are demonstrating that Africa's strength lies in our unity, in our diversity, and in the unyielding spirit of its people. Let us commit ourselves to meaningful deliberations, actionable outcomes, and lasting collaborations. The future of Africa is not a distant dream.
The Mandela Washington Fellowship
has not only transformed the life of over 6,000 alumni across the continent, but has also amplified the voice of the young leaders.
The Vice President commended the Mandela Washington Fellows for their exemplary leadership and service, especially in education, healthcare, and social justice, which serve as an inspiration for generations to come. You're watching News at 9.
Business Day newspapers of 11th November 2024, or visit NDIC website and social media handles for details. Announcer Management.
The Chairman, Senate Committee on Information and National Orientation, Senator Kenneth Emeka, says the broad vision of the federal government for skills development at all levels of education would significantly reduce youth unemployment in Nigeria. At a public hearing on a bill to establish Federal Polytechnic, Vocational and ICT in Onueke, as the south of Ebonyi State, Senator Emeka noted that the institution, when established, would equip the youth to become innovators fit to tackle the challenges of the 21st century.
To thrive in today's competitive job market, it is our collective responsibility to ensure that our young people have access to quality education that prepares them for realities of the workforce.
It's not merely about creating new institutions. It is about nurturing the minds and talents of our citizens.
Our objective is to fortify the teachers' education pipeline, ensuring that educators at all levels are well prepared to mold future generations with knowledge, ethics, and competence.
Stakeholders at the public hearing also made submissions on bill to establish Alva Ikoku Federal University of Education, Owerri, in Imo State, to provide manpower for the education sector.
Have a stronger focus on research compared to colleges of education. This change can foster more research activities, contributing to scientific advancement and innovations.
Exploring the nexus between skills development in polytechnics and youth development in Nigeria was the topic of discourse at a roundtable aimed at driving technical and vocational education to tackle youth unemployment. The National Assembly Joint Committee on Tertiary Education, National Board for Technical Education, policy makers and development partners at the meeting emphasized enhanced collaboration between Tertiary Education Fund and Nigerian polytechnics to provide infrastructure and build capacity to ensure that curriculum aligns with economic demands.
This nexus, ensuring that our young people are equipped not just for today's challenge, but for tomorrow's opportunity. Together we can unlock the transformative potential of our polytechnic and shape a brighter future for the next generation.
The Executive Secretary of the NBT has addressing infrastructure deficit in polytechnics and promotion of research in polytechnics require improved funding.
We should stop, paper qualifications. We should ensure that graduates have a skills qualification.
Meeting wants TET Fund to support polytechnics towards equipping young people with practical and technical skills. The Jamata Inland Water Port project in Kogi State holds a great potential to drive the economic growth of Nigeria when completed. House of Representatives Committee on Inland Waterways is therefore calling for speedy completion of the project to serve the purpose for which it was established. This was the highlight of the committee's oversight to the National Inland Waterways Authority headquarters in Lokoja. Johnson Omajali reports.
The National Inland Waterways Authority has had a demanding year, playing a crucial role in flood response efforts across the country while working to improve safety and reduce boat accidents on waterways. The visit by the House Committee to NIWA's headquarters provided an opportunity for the authority to showcase its achievements and address challenges.
I would like to assure these honorable committee members that NIWA remains committed to its mandate of developing and regulating Nigerian land waterways to stimulate economic growth and improve transportation network in Nigeria.
The House Committee discussed key issues such as waterway safety, infrastructure development, and commended the authority for its efficient resource management. They also called for swift completion of the Jamata Inland River Port project and the dredging of the country's waterways.
We are calling on the contractor handling this port for experience Autonomy, and also drawing that sufficient funds will be made available to ensure that this local Jamata port is conclusively constructed.
After the discussion, the committee, accompanied by NIWA officials, visited the project site. Upon completion, the port is expected to contribute significantly to the nation's economic growth. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA.
We move to Jigawa, where the state government is boosting rice production with the deployment of mechanization for the cultivation of 100 hectares of farmland during this dry season. Muhammad Musa Askira has the details.
These 30 master technicians, who are all graduates of agricultural engineering, will be trained at an agricultural equipment manufacturing company in China and return to Jigawas alongside the 300 tractors, 80 combined harvesters, and hundreds of planters, ridgers, among many others already purchased by the state governments at the company for the full implementation of the mechanization plan. Governor Umar Namadi, who took his time to detail the master technicians the essence of the training they are to undergo in China, told them that they are the lifeline of the mechanization dream of the government and farmers in Jigawa State.
Our drive is to ensure that we have mechanized agriculture, and these tractors will be available to all the farmers in Jigawa State. They will pass through all the necessary training, practical, so that when they come back, they'll be able to take over these service centers.
Once you want to succeed in agriculture, you have to provide funds, mechanizations, provide inputs, and extension services.
And they will also dedicate the whole of their time to make sure whatever they are taught, they are actually comprehended for immediate return.
Our GDP, over 47%, is relied on agriculture. We have gotten our way forward.
The program, they noted, is targeting at addressing the menace of poverty, food insecurity, youth unemployment, and hunger, not only in Jigawa, but the country as a whole. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And from Rio comes the report that Niger State has signed a $5 billion ethanol offtake agreement with a Brazilian company to develop sugarcane production potential in the state. The agreement is to set up plants in the state for the production of sugar and its byproducts. The state's delegation, led by the governor, Mohamed Umar Bago, leveraged on Nigeria's participation at the just-concluded G20 Leaders Summit in Rio de Janeiro to conclude on the partnership. Learning from the first two leading producers of sugar in the world, Brazil and India, the governor says his state, with the largest land mass in Nigeria, is hoping to maintain a leading position in sugar production while also becoming a hub for agriculture generally. He believes that apart from the expected job opportunity, the investment will have a multiplier effect on the national economy.
Beyond sugarcane, we are also doing livestock because we have bagasse here that's going to be used to feed the animals. We have molasses for pharmaceuticals. We have the ethanol itself. It's a biofuel. Behind ethanol, you have carbon credit. This is another value chain in this production. And after that, again, you have power, because if each of these plants generate a minimum of 100 megawatt of electricity.
We are already starting work like a couple of months ago. We joined force. We want to bring the best of Brazilian and India together to produce these kind of plants, to build that plants over there and to bring development for Africa.
Now, Jennifer takes it from here to bring you stories from Lagos. Hello, Jennifer.
Stories. Fresh ideas and groundbreaking innovations that will shape the future and drive growth in businesses, technology, and the financial service industry were unveiled at the 4th edition of the Zenith Bank Tech Fair, with winners getting startups to expand their ideas. In a message to this year's Tech Fair, Vice President Kashim Shettima commended the bank's commitment to empowering Nigerian youth through exploring and deploying emerging technologies to enhance various aspects of human life. Adiola Komiakere reports.
Technology is at the forefront of development globally. The Zenith Bank Tech Fair is therefore designed to discover and accelerate the growth of innovative Nigerian startups across sectors. For management of Zenith Bank PLC, innovation should be top priority through empowerment of young, fertile minds to produce solutions to future challenges.
We do believe in the years to come, we will build our own robust Silicon Valley. There's no doubt about that.
FinTech has pioneered the disruptive innovation in the field, which is a wake-up call for traditional banks to be more innovative and proactive.
Vice President Kashim Shettima represented and the Lagos State Governor say Nigeria must continue to explore opportunities in technology to be at par with other economies of the world.
Zenith Bank Group must keep up these engagements and do everything to continue to grow this niche.
I see a great future with all of you. I see a great future of what we can use technology and AI for.
Global tech experts also enlightened participants on the positive impact of AI on embedded finance, cybersecurity, and growth imperative.
Being able to use AI as a freelancer, as a contractor, will be a very big tool in your arsenal.
So in banking, for example, digital customers do 16 times more self-led transactions than traditional customers.
Competitors in the Zekathon 4.0 used the fair to pitch their ideas, where 3 best indigenous technological solutions were selected from the final 10, with prizes ranging from 10 to 25 million naira. The climax of the tech fair was the launch of the Easy Banking Wallet to encourage the culture of saving among Nigerians. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
And to health, to address key issues in the pharmaceutical industry from the point of manufacturing, regulation, public health to global integration, a book titled The Pharmaceutical Industry and Drug Production in Nigeria has been launched in Lagos. The author, pharmacist Ahmed Ibrahim Yakasai, said the book offers insights into how Nigeria can build capacity to join the global circle in drug production. Lanrik Bileyi has details.
The reviewer, Professor Larry Bale, described the book as a comprehensive and pragmatic outlook into pharmaceutical industry in the country with a focus on indigenous production.
It shows how effective drug production and distribution systems are so crucial to combating major health issues, and argued Nigeria's ability to produce affordable, high-quality drugs domestically will directly influence its capacity to meet public health needs.
According to the author, the inspiration for the book comes from various national assignments and the urgent need on how it has become imperative for the nation to produce pharmaceutical drugs locally.
I saw the gap. So the first thing I did is to really research, before I went to Koro, to research locally from manufacturers, from distributors, from main anchor companies in Nigeria.
Experts in pharmaceutical field, stakeholders in the pharmaceutical community affirmed that the book is about implementation strategies and the importance of local content in drug security of the country.
We have a lot of
herbal materials, but if they are committed to research, I'm sure Nigeria will be great in getting its own drugs.
The book is a result of a thorough research based on evidence, and of course the book was severely peer reviewed because we knew it will turn out to be a canonical work.
The 102-page book was later unveiled by invited guests and captains in pharmaceutical industry. All proceeds from the book launch the author promised to channel to the education of the girl child in the country. In Lagos, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Thank you for staying. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, says the National Health Act of 2014 envisioned the eventual financial autonomy for local governments and defined their role in Nigeria's health sector transformation process, particularly in primary healthcare development, with very specific stipulations. The coordinating minister made this known as he addressed the national president of ALGAN and its membership at the ALGAN Primary Healthcare Revitalization Stakeholders Forum in Maiduguri, Borno State.
Our task, our mission, is to change that. That is a task that is the heart of the president's vision to put health and well-being of Nigerian people at the center of his renewed hope agenda. That's the mission that we in the Federal Ministry of Health and our colleagues were mandated to drive.
But with this landmark judgment that have granted full financial autonomy to the 774 local governments across the Federation, I believe the local government are poised to take their rightful position and pride of place.
In a bid to promote excellence, especially in the area of humanitarian services, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is partnering with Nasarawa State University, KEFI, to establish a Center of Excellence for Migration. This was disclosed by the Federal Commissioner Tijani Aliu Ahmed during a visit by the delegation of the university led by the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Saadatu Hassan Liman. The proposed center is equal to a memorandum of understanding signed between both parties last year. The center is expected to help in the research and compilation of data of irregular migration and plight of internally displaced persons in the country through effective advocacy.
We have found a university as a fertile ground where we can train from the beginning the students to know, yes, we are not saying that you shouldn't go out, but if you are going out of the country, this is how you follow. Because we are talking about legal and then illegal migration. The university being a research center will help us in harnessing this information and harnessing this knowledge.
To show that we are serious about this issue, we have already earmarked a special place where this center is going to be sited. And be rest assured that we will do our best to see that this process is going to become a success.
For the funding of the project, the Commissioner says it will be captured in its next year's budget while seeking for collaboration from its international partners for the success of the project. The center is expected to take off in January 2025. Next is business news with Benny.
Thank you, Lami. Now talking business. The Supreme Court has nullified the National Lottery Act 2005 enacted by the National Assembly. The judgment followed the suit filed in 2008 by Lagos and some other states. Ruling on the matter, the Apex Court held that the National Assembly lacked the powers to legislate on issues relating to lottery and games. In a unanimous judgment, a 7-member panel of the Apex Court held that such powers only reside with the State Houses of Assembly, which possesses exclusive jurisdiction over lottery and related issues. In a lead judgment by Justice Mohammed Idris, the Supreme Court resolved that lottery or games of chance is not one of the items on the exclusive legislative list contained in the Constitution, in respect of which the National Assembly has the powers to make laws for the whole of the country, and proceeded to issue an order nullifying the entirety of the National Lottery Act. Justice Idris also issued an order of perpetual injunction restraining the first defendant, that is the Attorney General of the Federation, either by himself or his agents or any other agency of the federal government, from implementing the provisions of the National Lottery Act within the territories of the plaintiff states. Now to matters of MSMEs and funding. The Bank of Industry says it has raised more than $5 billion and plans to disburse 120 billion naira in support of 2 million MSMEs. Managing Director of the Bank of Industry, Dr. Olasupo Lucy, says the funds were secured through Eurobonds loans, syndications, and green finance instruments. He noted that in November 2023, the bank raised not less than 2 billion euros, marking the largest fundraising in the history of African development finance institutions. He says part of the funds will go into financing 2 million micro, small, and medium enterprises by the end of the year.
And I want to assure you and Nigerians in general that we will continue to engage to ensure that this country grows, this country creates jobs, and this country becomes more productive. It is very important.
She explained that despite an initial target of 103 billion for 1.5 million MSMEs, in 2024, the bank had already exceeded its goal. Under the Presidential Grant and Loan Scheme, more than 700,000 people have benefited from the scheme, while disbursement to more than 200,000 applicants is still ongoing. Now, Nigeria experts in information and communications technology are advocating robust data and cybersecurity measures in the country to safeguard sensitive information, which are often breached through unauthorized access. This was a unanimous recommendation at the 12th edition of the Nigeria ICT Impact Forum, where federal government agencies, including the Nigerian Communications Commission, Nigeria Data Protection Commission, Digital Reality, and strategic partners in the digital economic space, expressed concern on rising cases of cyber attacks and consequences for individuals and organizations. They made a case for a government-led approach to build frameworks that encourage professionals to strengthen data protection, cloud infrastructure, and cyber security at this time of increasing reliance on the internet and digital services. This, they believe, will safeguard individual privacy and enforce standards.
The government already says there's going to be a plan to deepen connectivity to the extent that the connectivity is being likened to the physical highway structure. So that is a good focus.
There are government agencies that are around everywhere, that all they need to do is to just tell them to support this kind of an initiative. Because if people talk about this thing more, then the government itself, they will look.
Strengthening the industry from both infrastructure side, cyber security, and then ensuring that whatever has been achieved is not lost, right? It's one thing to build the industry, it's another thing to strengthen it and make it continue to grow.
Now, looking at the market, at the end of last weekday of trading on the Nigerian exchange, investors lost 98.13 billion naira as the market remained bearish due to sustained sell-off in some stocks. Looking at the market, we have the oil share index still depreciating to 97,829.02% from 97,992.55%. Looking at the deals, we have 9,677 deals, just about 1,000 drop in terms of numbers as of yesterday. The volume has also dropped. We have 366.6. Looking at the value, from 9.5 billion as of yesterday, we came down to 6.067 billion naira. Look at the market equity. At the end of the day, we have 59.2 as against 59.5. It shows, compared to yesterday's trading, today's data shows 22% decline in volume, 37% decline in turnover, a 9% decline in deals. And on the aggregate, 128 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 27 gainers and 25 losers. And 74 equities actually remained unchanged. We expect something good after the weekend going into next week. But this is actually the right time for anyone to buy shares from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. That is for free. Well, that is it on business. Network news continues, but after this break, do stay with us.
Sports news now. Friday was an action-packed day at the ongoing African Military Games in Abuja as teams continue their fight for medals. Let's now join Francisca Billy for more details.
Hello and welcome to the African Military Games update for today. I am Francisca Billy. Let's begin with Nigerian interests, as the Nigerian Armed Forces proved yet again that they are one of the best in the world by clinching the only available gold medal in the obstacle crossing event, with Algeria and Senegal picking silver and bronze respectively. The medal presentation ceremony took place at the Gymnasium Hall, Package B of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, with the evidently excited coach of the Nigerian team attributing his team's victory to proper training, resilience, and consistency.
It has been an experience because I've learned a lot, even from the opposing countries. They are also good, but we are better. Actually, I feel very happy. Today, I am overwhelmed. For me to have this medal on my neck as the Armed Forces coach of Nigeria of obstacle, I am very happy. We are determined that we are going to win this gold, and that was why we got the gold.
Similarly, the Nigerian military archery team showcased exceptional skill and precision in the 20-meter bear bull shooting event, achieving a commendable haul of 2 gold medals, 1 silver and 2 bronze medals. Their performance, they say, highlights their dedication and proficiency in archery, while also solidifying their position as a force to reckon with in the sports. This achievement is also a significant milestone which demonstrates the growing prominence of archery within the Nigerian military sports framework.
I got to see myself very good in 20 meters, right from where we did archery open championship at Wuse. When we did that one, I saw that I was good in 20 meters. That was where I got my boldness in 20 meters. I won gold then, and now again, I thank God I won another gold.
It was a different story at the squash court of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, as the South African military squash team claimed victory over Nigeria in the men's doubles event. Team South Africa dominated the game, winning all 3 sets, 11-4, 11-8 and 11-10, to secure the championship title.
Play the game of squash at this type of age, for me, it's very important. Win or lose, but it's very important to me.
Playing this doubles final is one of the best games that you avoid a crowd and your opponents. We at least learn a lot playing it, and we learn our mistake from there.
At the velodrome of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Nigeria's Glory Anna won gold in the female taekwondo singles event against her Cameroonian counterparts. In the men's category, Algerian Atoy Saidi overpowered the Nigerians that came his way as he claimed gold.
I know at first I was very tense, I was so afraid, am I going to win this game? But God saw me through. It's God. It's God. I know it's not by my power. It's God. It's God.
Now, it's been 5 days since AMGA 2024 began in Abuja, and the chairman local organizing committee, Air Vice Marshal Abidemi Timothy Makis, while appraising the games so far, revealed that its aims and objectives have been met, as it has united the forces in Africa while also promoting fairness. AVM Makis spoke to us shortly after appearing on NTA Sports Daily Show to promote the games.
When you are competing, someone must win, someone must win. But the most important thing, you are also an athlete. What does it teach you? It's just a lesson in life that sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But when you are losing, you must have drawn lessons from it and prepare for your future engagement. So by and large, everything has been orderly. The our brothers from other African countries, they are having a good time in Nigeria.
Well, Saturday is another day to look forward to, as the much-awaited marathon will take center stage alongside the football finals and 6 other sports. That's our Anga update for now. I am Francisca Bile.
Now, on a sad note, the death has been announced of Pa Funsho Primo Aguru. He was born on the 14th of November 1919 and died on the 15th of November 2024, a day after he celebrated his 105 years of age and has been buried according to Islamic rites. A statement signed by Captain Oluwole Aguru on behalf of the family indicates that the 8 days prayer will take place on the 23rd of November 2024 as the Echo Club, Bode Thomas, Surulere, Lagos at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He was survived by children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. And that's Network News for today. We thank you for being a part of it. Do have a good weekend.